Here we go. All right, my delightful people. Dr. P is in the house. We are doing it. We are absolutely doing it. I continue, I'm not kidding, to futz with technology and trying to get the best sound that I can. Of the things that they teach you in vet school, sound technology. They might have taught me cell biochemistry, but they did not teach me sound technology. Okay, my friends, so it is Sunday, April 26th. New day, new week, new amazingness. I'm so full of energy. I just did virtual brunch with my mother. And I'm so excited because we're going to invite more family members next week, and it's gonna be amazing. So I'm in all sorts of a good mood. All sorts of good mood. I got tons of people joining the Proofing Box, which is always super awesome. I got tons of people calling me. I have tons of signups for my marketing and advertising class. So if you haven't signed up for that, sign up for that. And I will. I bet you I can even put a URL here. So I know that it is sfbdi.com, because that's how I do everything. Here we go. I'm going to put it in the comments section. And it's also like pinned over at the Proofing Box. All replays really are actually at the Proofing Box as well. So if you want to catch that, it's going to be really pretty amazing. Made Easy Webinars. There you go. And, oh no, it's not. It's duragofoodsafety.kartra.com. Click on it in the link. That's a crazy URL. I guess we have to fix that. But it's going to be super, super awesome. So that's tomorrow at 3 for those of you who have anything that they want to sell. And that's actually all of you. I have to tell you, everybody is in sales, no matter whether you think you are in sales or not. Speaking of knots, I think I have a knot in my cord. That's hilarious. All right, so today it's completely applicable that we are talking about this because we have moved on. So let me take you where we've gone through in the curriculum. So we started by telling the truth that we have in the world, right? And understanding our thoughts about it. And then we felt all our own feelings about it. So that was week 2. All right. And then last week, we decided to want what we want, right? And once we've decided we want what we want, then here's how this works. You say what you're going to create. Okay. And you do it no matter what. And you sit with all of the discomfort. Thank you, dear. That's my newest Bruce Springsteen roadie there. Okay. That's a 12-year-old I was talking about. So now I just made him super uncomfortable. I'm awesome. And so results matter. All right. And so here's the thing is that I know we can have a conversation about trophy generation and all that sort of stuff. I am not a trophy generation. I'm a Gen Xer. Nobody gives a rat's ass about us. We're like, they do surveys about generational things and skip us. And so, but we are, we're the ones running a lot of the economy and a lot of the businesses right now. And so I would like to think that we matter. But what really matters is results. Okay. And I was having this conversation with that very 12-year-old this morning because he had a sweep floor. Okay. Was on his to-do list from 9 to 9:30 or something like that. Right. And so being a 12-year-old, what he did was he got out the broom and he swept the floor. And he said, "Hey, Mom, I swept the floor." And I looked at the floor, and I'll just let you guess what I saw. I saw papers on the floor. He hadn't picked up the chairs. He hadn't swept around the dog's cage. He hadn't picked up by the cubbies, all that sort of stuff, right? And so I literally, over the next 15 minutes, spent, I think, if I said it, I know I said it a half a dozen times 15 minutes. So what is that, like once every 2.5 minutes? You get everything up off the floor. Did you get everything up off the floor? Right? Because what everybody wants is they want an A for effort. And when I was in seventh grade, I wanted an A for effort too. I remember my dad told me I would get a trip to California if I brought home report cards that had A's on them, and I brought home straight A's for effort, but I got like a B. I got one B or something, and it was probably in math. And he's like, I don't get, and I was like, but I got A's for effort. And he took me to California anyway, and I got pneumonia. It was awesome. I was so sick. Oh my God. And but I got a trip to California, and, which was a really big deal in our house. And but like, and we want effort to count, okay? And effort does count in as much as you learn from it, okay? So I am in the middle of reading The Lean Startup, all right? And if you're in business and you haven't read The Lean Startup, go borrow it from the library, get the ebook, and start reading The Lean Startup, because it's this is the second time through I'm reading. Effort counts, okay? If you are continually learning and applying that effort. All right. An A for effort does not count when you are 12 and you want to check off the, like, I did my chore, and you still haven't picked up all the pipe cleaners and all the papers and all the newspaper and all that sort of stuff off the floor, right? Because the floor is not actually clean. And as we're fond of saying around here, what is mommy looking for? Mommy is looking for results. Okay. Your customers are looking for results. Okay, when you say you're going to do something in the world, it matters whether or not you do it. I don't have any other way of saying that. That's life. That's reality. That, my friends, is adulting. You do what you say you're going to do, and you do it. Okay? And so this whole week is going to be dedicated to what that process looks like, okay? And it all boils down to one thing: deciding on your results, okay? 2 years ago, I decided I was going to lose the weight for the last time, okay? 2 years ago. I've been doing this, I guess it's April. Yeah, I think I started this in May 2018. Okay, I was going to lose the weight for the last time, and I was going to do whatever I needed to do. Okay, I'll talk about that journey tomorrow, right? In January, I decided I'd consumed all the alcohol that I need to consume in my life, and I'm going to quit drinking. Decided it. And I decided it like that, okay? Most all y'all think that it takes a long time to make a decision, and you have to gather all the facts, and you have to gather all the data. I get it. Okay, I would never buy a house for whatever it is that we paid for this house, 300 some odd $1,000, right? I would never have bought this without. This was like the 3 dozenth house I looked at, and there were not a whole lot of houses on the market when we were buying, right? And I looked at this house from New Jersey, and I came up here, and I found this house, right? And there is gathering facts and deciding how many facts you need, and moving forward anyway. Okay. There is hemming and hawing. Okay. Sometimes we want to hem and haw. And that's what all of last week was about. If you're just honest with yourself that you want to hem and haw, and you don't really thing that you say that you want. I mean, there are like a ton of people who want to lose the weight, but they don't want to lose the weight without beating the shit out of themselves because they like it. Like and I've been there. I have been there because it feels super virtuous. My way of doing it feels better than virtuous. Okay. But be that as it may, that's how people are. And it doesn't mean anything. Okay. It really doesn't mean anything. Everything has gone the way that it is supposed to go. But you got to decide on what results that you want. Okay. You've got to quit the navel gazing and fish or cut bait. And that's it. And if you decide to cut bait, you decide to cut bait. doesn't mean anything. Just go all in on whatever it is that you've decided to do. But we're always afraid to go all in. We're always afraid to declare our results because then we're going to have to commit. And when we commit, we're going to have to constrain. Okay. And this week of all the weeks, it's all about constraint. And constraint is beautiful. Okay. Now, we're in a time where people are literally protesting against constraint. They are literally, like there was a meme that my friend sent around, okay, and it's a protester holding up a sign that says, I want a haircut. And then there's pictures of the doctors and the nurses who literally have bruising on their faces from wearing those N95 masks. I mean, I used to treat monkeys. I've worn an N95 mask for hours and hours and hours on end, and I got a rash right here. It hurts. Those goggles, they hurt. Okay. Our doctors and nurses are willing to constrain to personal protective equipment. Okay. Because first do no harm. That's what we've agreed to do, which for a lot of us means we harm ourselves first. Okay. First do no harm means harm yourself first. Okay. Before like letting anybody else get harmed, which is not actually what that means. My fellow doctors out there. Okay. But when we decide to constrain, so much easier if we go all in. Okay. I have been, as of this week, married for 14 years. Those are my anniversary flowers behind me. I'm so excited about them. Andrew brought me flowers while I was in like my Carhartts and cutting down trees yesterday. Right. I constrained to Andrew more than 14 years ago. We met, I think 16 years ago this May, and I constrained to Andrew. And it's amazing. Constraining to one person has been absolutely the right choice in my life, and I absolutely, absolutely love it. Okay. In my business, I have constrained to running one business for as absolutely bloody long as I can. Okay. I'm about to pop off the locker as its own separate standalone business. Okay. I constrain my eating. I constrain my drinking. I constrain my thoughts. Okay. Most people don't want to do the constraint required to create results because we are not taught to constrain ourselves because for some reason constraint is seen as anti-American. Well, as we are fond of saying in the military, we're here to uphold democracy. We are not here to practice it. Okay, we constrain ourselves. I mean, you ask any NCO out there what constraint looks like, they'll be happy to tell you. You ask any private who went through basic training what constraint looks like, that's constraint. Like when you when you sign up, you're doing a 4 and 4. So 4 years active, 4 years reserve. That's constraint. And look at what we are able to do. We choose constraint. You went to college, you picked one college. You constrained, right? And from constraint and decision making creates freedom. Okay? So my invitation to you this week is to constrain to one thing, okay? And just do it for the course of the week because constraint is a learned and learnable skill. All right. All of the things that I didn't know how to do this, guys. And then I didn't know how to do it. Then I learned how to do it. And then I learned how to teach it because I went to coach training. Right. This is a learned and learnable skill. Right. And so, because I don't cover this in any one specific area, but this week I'm going to do this on time management. Okay, because if you constrain your time management, I promise you can do anything at all. Because time management happens between your ears. Okay, you create time in your life. You manage your mind, you create time, and you create money because you will make more decisions. Creating results requires decision making. Every single day of the week and twice on Sunday. So I'm doing this webinar tomorrow on sales and marketing. You know what sales and marketing and advertising, all that sort of stuff is? Making decisions. Why don't we make decisions? We don't make decisions because we hate constraint and our whole body rebels against it. Okay? We don't, and you'll see this when we constrain tomorrow. When I talk to you about constraint around food tomorrow, your whole body's going to rebel against it. Okay? We don't constrain and we don't make decisions because we're afraid we're going to make the wrong one. I get it. What if the wrong decision is not something that exists? What if there's no wrong decision? Okay? What if you make a decision and everything happens because it was supposed to happen that way? I was not supposed to be going to clients, all right, and doing this gigantic project with a client this April. Thought I was going to do it, but it turns out I just believed the wrong thing about the future, right? When we fail to make a decision, we're afraid we will believe the wrong thing about the future, we will be wrong, and we will have failed. And failure in our society is like the death of everything, I guess. But failure is not. You know, I was talking with my mother today, and we had, I think I just said, we came off a virtual brunch, and I was talking about the locker and what I'm doing with the locker. I have another phone call on tomorrow today, and then a phone call with a mentor tomorrow. And I'm doing this because I had this like most humiliating phone call 2 weeks ago tomorrow about the locker, and boy did I flub it, right? But it went exactly right. I was supposed to have that failure. How do I know I was supposed to have that failure? I had that failure. Okay, that's how I know I was supposed to have that failure, is because I had that failure. And it's way easier to think about it that way. Okay, but I was talking with my mom, and she was talking about me and my failure. And she's like, you know, Michelle, of any I know, you take failure and you change and you move on and you don't drop it until it becomes a success. And that is one of the reasons I have done what I've done in my life. And the story she always tells, and the story that I kind of remember, it's like my iconic story about failure in my life, is when I was a freshman in high school, I desperately wanted to be on the dance squad. I had been dancing for 14 years of my life at that point. I thought I was pretty good, right? And I desperately wanted to be on the dance squad. And I went and I practiced my routine for like weeks in the backyard. I worked. And I didn't even make the first cut. I did not even make the first cut. And I was devastated, and I could not stop crying. Like, my mother had to come. I'm so humiliated. My mother had to come and pick me up from school because I couldn't stop crying over this dance competition. Oh, the brains of a 14-year-old. 13-year-old, I guess, freshman. I cried, I think, for like 4 or 5 straight hours up in my room. Okay, 4 or 5 straight hours. And then I stopped crying. And the next day or the day after that, I tried out for the tennis team. Well, clearly I'm a better tennis player than I am a dancer, okay, because I made the tennis team. I think I made like first alternate or something, played a couple of matches, practiced with the team, loved it, did a ton of tennis that summer, took private tennis lessons, made the team. I ended up making states my sophomore year and I think my sophomore, junior, and senior year. I played singles. I hate singles tennis, but whatever. And I mostly played doubles. And I turned it into a success. And I guarantee you it's one of the reasons I got into Wellesley, right? Because I don't let failure stop me. And when you decide to declare results in bold, we make a plan for failure, right? And when we plan for failure, we know that it is just part of the process and it's exactly what's supposed to be happening, right? And when you decide that whatever result that you're creating out there, you're going to fail towards the result, you can do absolutely anything in the entire world, okay? So that's the preface to let's fail ourselves towards time management so we can create the results we want to create in the world, all right? So what does that look like? You right now, as you are listening to this, decide a result that you are going to create this week, okay? Just decide a result. You're going to drink 3 drinks this week. You're going to only eat on protocol. You're going to lose 2 pounds. You're going to make $1,000. You're going to cut down 6 trees. I don't care. You're going to write a chapter of your book. Okay. All of my friends who are out there writing books, write a chapter, declare you're going to write a chapter of your book. And there are at least 3 people out there who I know this listen, and I know this applies to. Write a chapter of your book and tell me about it this week. Okay. Decide whatever the result is. Okay. And then here's what you're going to do. Okay. You're going to take that result that you want to create, writing a business plan, writing a book, whatever. Okay. And you're going to divide it into tasks. All right. And when you divide it into tasks, okay, you're going to just write down all the things that you're going to do. Okay. So if it's a book and you're writing a chapter, okay, whatever it is that you have to do to write the chapter of your book, you have to go look at your book outline. Okay. You have to outline do the outline of the whatever point it is that you're making. Like when I write a book, when I write this book that this is coming out of, I have a whole framework that I'm going to write it. I'm going to write it in. Okay. You're going to write all of that stuff down. Okay, whatever those tasks are. Don't actually write the outline yet. Okay? And then you're going to let's see, what else do you do? So you're going to write the outline, you're going to actually write the book, you're going to read it out. You're going to read it out loud to yourself, and then you're going to go back and do your first pass through edit, right? So that's like 5 or so tasks. You're going to write all those things down, okay? And the next thing I want you to do is I want you to pull your calendar. Okay, electronic calendar, paper calendar, whatever it is. And I want you to decide how many minutes it's going to take you to one of those 5 tasks. And then I want to schedule it on the calendar. All right. That is you declaring what result and how long it's going to take you to create that result. Right? How long it's going to take you to create that result. Because that's what we don't want to do. You don't ever want to say how long it's going to take. We don't ever want to sit there and sweat about how long it's going to take to create the results, right? All right. And so you're going to then take all of that and you're going to put it on the calendar. Okay. So if it's going to take you 30 minutes to write the outline, you're going to write down from 8 to 8:30 on Monday, April 27th. I'm going to write my outline, and then you're going to put it down and you're going to go do something else. And you're not going to work on it until it's time to work on it again. Okay. And you're going to show up to it no matter what. Okay. And then here's what's going to happen. It's going to become 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. It's going to be time for you to write your outline of your chapter, right? And you will either do it or you won't. We either have what we want in our lives or we have the reasons we don't have them. Okay? I deal with a lot of people who have a lot of really good reasons why they don't have what they want to have in their life. And you are perfectly entitled to your reasons. Your reasons are probably warm, they are snuggly, they feel really right, they feel really justified, and I get it. I really, really get it. I had all of the reasons I had all of that weight. I really did. I had all the reasons I had all of that weight. Oh. And now I don't have the weight of the reasons, and my life is a lot better because my brain, hell of a lot better. So much more room, as I've said, right? If you don't show up, okay, we don't beat ourselves up about it, right? If you don't show up, all you do is you say, what was I thinking at that point? What did I decide at 8 o'clock? I wanted more than I wanted to write the outline of my book. Whatever it is, okay? If you tend to binge eat, what do you decide that you want more in that moment, long term? Of sticking to your eating protocol. When you're drinking, what do you want more in the short term than you want in the long term? Okay, if it's getting customers, all the things that we talk about, what do you want more than the result? Okay, and it will look like what you wrote down in week 1 of what we're talking about. Okay, 2 weeks ago. It will, or now I guess 3 weeks ago. It will look like that. Because you have what you have in your life because of all the decisions you've made until now. And if you want something else, you're going to have to do something else. It is that simple, my friends, right? It is not easy, but it is simple. But here's the thing, when you teach yourself to do not easy things, you get to do more fun things, right? You get to do, I mean, dude, veterinary school, not easy, but I have a wicked ton of fun as a veterinarian, right? People are like, oh my God, Dr. P, I want to do what you do. And I'm like, dude, you have no idea. Okay. So, like, what you have to teach yourself to do the hard things. You have to be willing to be a beginner, right, at time management and fail forward and decide, okay, that you're not going to beat yourself up for learning how to do time management, right? And if you undergird whatever results along with the results of learning how to do time management, you will be absolutely unstoppable. So whatever your result you're declaring for the week, okay, and whatever results that comes with time management, okay? So the results that I'm declaring, remember that I declared, I think at the beginning or maybe in the middle of the week last week, was now 5 new clients by the first Sunday in May, which it might be the 4th. 5 new clients by the first Sunday in May. Okay. That's the result that I'm creating. Okay. And so when I declare that result and I'm willing to fail forward, all right, and do my consults badly and do my locker sales calls badly and be willing to be vulnerable and afraid and do the work anyway, I know I will create the results that I am looking for. Okay. And if it doesn't happen in the next 2 weeks or whatever that is, it was never supposed to happen in those 2 weeks. We always decide that because something didn't happen in a certain time frame, something's going really, really wrong. That's a very harsh way to treat ourselves. Very harsh way to treat ourselves. We always figure out how to use time to bludgeon ourselves, and it's totally unnecessary. Things take the exact amount of time that they are supposed to take. And when you make decisions faster, they will take less time. And you get used to making decisions faster, you will find out how much your life accelerates. That in and of itself can be scary, I'm not going to lie. Okay, my business is accelerating right now, and I'm like, right? And I have to recognize those thoughts and learn not to hit the brakes. Right? Or else I will keep getting the results that I have had. I don't want those results. I want new results. And in order to get new results, I have to be a different person. Right? And that's the scary, scary, scary part. If you don't know how to manage your calendar, the person who's going to manage your calendar is a different person than you are right now. And over the course of the week, I'm going to show you what all of that looks like and how you go from where you are right now and wanting what you want to being the person that has that new results. And that is what we are covering this week. Alrighty. So I will see you all on Monday. Let me go over to the proofing box and see if we have any questions over there. But the webinar Monday at 3 Eastern. Look in your email. If you're on my email list, I want you to look in the email list. And you'll find a URL. The URL is here on the live. I'm going to put the URL in the proofing box, and the replay will be in the proofing box. I love you all. You are completely beautiful people. Have an awesome Sunday. You're totally amazing. And I will see you tomorrow, and we are going to talk about food and weight. I love you. Bye, guys.